So I get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, who the fuck is calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning? Because realistically, don't nobody but my mom and my little sister call me. So who the fuck is calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning? So I pick it up and it's my homegirl Jessie. What the fuck is Jessie doing calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. So I'm like, hello. Now I could only assume that Jessie is on the other line having a crisis or some sort of breakdown because again, bitch, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So I say hello and I was really not expecting at all what she was about to ask me. She said, hey Nasha, do you want to go to the fair tomorrow? Immediately I think it's strange because that bitch hates the fucking fair. So why the fuck is she inviting me to the fair? However though, I love the fair. So I said, yeah, I want to go. What time? She says, okay, I'll come pick you up around 12. I say, okay, cool. She bangs the line, no good night, no goodbye, none of that, just hangs up. So 12 o'clock pulls around, she comes and picks me up just like she said she would. I get in her car and I'm like, what made you invite me to the fair? I thought you hated the fucking fair. She's like, girl, I don't hate the fair, I just hate the heat. But it's 67 and sunny, so I figured we could go. I'm like, okay, bet. Now, I've known Jessie almost half of her life, and I can tell when that bitch is lying. And when I tell you that answer that she gave me was so fucking fabricated, bro, she don't even talk like that. It's 67 and sunny. I just figured we can go. Nothing about that shit seemed genuine. So now I really needed to get down to the bottom as to why this bitch invited me to go to the fair. So anyway, we get there, we get wristbands because I like to get on everything. And then we start walking, but we're not really getting on any rides. We're just walking. So I'm trying to figure out why the fuck is this bitch walking so much? So I'm like, hey, let's get on the Wild Mouse. Now, if you know the Wild Mouse, the lines are usually pretty long because it's one of like the most intense rides at a county fair. She was like, let's just walk over here first. And I'm like, bitch, are you trying to get 20K steps in today? Like, what's tea? Like, the way she was moving about this whole fair thing seemed a little too intentional, you know? So anyway, I look back at the Wild Mouse again and I'm like, yo, the line for the Wild Mouse is actually not long at all. We should go right now. She was like, yeah, we will in a minute. Let's just walk over here real quick. I'm like, bitch, we've been walking for 45 minutes since we got in this bitch. We haven't gotten on not one ride yet. Like, what the fuck is going on? Now, I could tell she had something on her mind, but I guess I didn't realize how deep it actually went. So I got to the point where I was like, yo, what's going on? Because we've been in this bitch for about an hour. We paid $35 for these wristbands and an extra $15 to get in this bitch, and we still haven't hit not one ride. She looked at me, didn't say shit. So I'm looking at her while she's looking at me. And I was like, are we dead ass, bro? I'm looking at this bitch Jessie in her face and I'm like, yo, what's the real reason why you took me to this fair? Because I know you don't fuck with the fair. So like, what's tea? So then she tells me the craziest fucking thing I've heard her say in a long ass time. She's talking about some, okay, well, the real reason why we're at the fair today is because my ex and his new girlfriend is supposed to be here. Somehow, some way, she found out that her ex and his new girl was supposed to be at the fair at that same time, at that same day, and she wanted to like confront them or I don't know what the fuck she wanted to do actually. I said, so what are you gonna do when you see them? She was like, I'm gonna confront her and I'm gonna fight him. What? What do you even mean by that? Why would you want to confront her and fight him when you're the reason that y'all broke up in the first place? So when she was dating this dude Booker, somebody had told her that they seen Booker at his job having lunch with some lady, right? She immediately pulls up to his job to confront him and the lady that he was having lunch with, right? She pulled up, she was watching them for a while. Then she goes into the job without even asking questions. She grabs this lady by her hair and starts dragging her out of the job. Without even knowing who this lady was, she starts dragging her fucking hair. And the thing is, she never saw them face to face. And that's not even the craziest thing. You go into someone's job and you start dragging somebody out by their hair. Mind you, he worked at CarMax. Fucking CarMax. There's always people at CarMax. So she's dragging this lady by her hair. She finally gets a look at her face. It's fucking Booker's mom. He's having lunch with his mom, and she was dragging the fuck out of his mom's hair. So after that altercation, Booker's mom was dead ass gonna press charges on Jessie, but Booker convinced her not to, of course with the exception that we cannot be together anymore. So they broke up. And I've always told Jessie, you need to use your words more and your fist less. You almost killed a 55-year-old lady. So anyway, after she told me the real reason why we're at the fair, she pulls her phone out and starts walking away. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Let me know, because I'm gonna either get on this ride by myself or I'm gonna just go home. She was like, okay, let's go to the Wild Mouse. So as we're walking over to the Wild Mouse, she's still like glued to her fucking phone. And I'm like, damn, like what are you doing on your phone that you're glued to the screen like that? So by the time we finally get to the Wild Mouse, the line has already gotten long as shit, bro. So we waited about 10-15 minutes, and when I tell you the entirety of us waiting to get on this ride, she was glued to her fucking phone. So I'm like, Jessie, what are you doing? She pulls her face out from her screen. She shows me her phone. She's like, this is what I'm doing. I'm sitting here looking at her screen, confused as fuck. Like, what am I looking at? She says, I'm gleaming. You're gleaming? what does that mean? It's not even that hot outside. She said, nah, that's just what I call it. I'm using an app called Gleam and it helps you communicate better. And when I do it, I say I'm gleaming. I said, okay, that's what's up. Like, who are you trying to communicate better with? She said, well, earlier when I told you the real reason why we was at the fair, you gave me a look that I've only ever recognized my dad used to give me back when I was younger and he was disappointed in me. I felt like you were disappointed in me. And I was like, yeah, I am disappointed in you. Because why would you invite me to the fair and drive me all the way out here for me to be an accomplice to violence? When violence is the reason you're not even with this man in the first place. She said, no, you're right. That's why I'm gleaming. I said, okay, so what are you going to do if you see them right now? What would you do if we get on this wild mouse ride and they just so happen to be in the cart behind us? Are you going to jump them? Are you going to confront them? What are you gonna do? She looks down at her phone. She's like, just give me a few more minutes and then I'll answer your question. So then she gets back on her phone and we finally make it to the front of the wild mouse and they tell us we gotta put our phones away. So she's like, okay. We sit down, we put the little harness thing over us and I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna ask you, what if you see your ex, Booker, and his new girl, whatever the fuck her name is, and they're sitting right behind us, even right in front of us? What are you gonna do? This bitch looks me dead in my face and says something really fucking unexpected. Unexpected coming from her. She said, I'm gonna look him in his eyes, then I'm gonna look her in her eyes, then I'm gonna look him back in his eyes, and I'm gonna do this. And then she fucking head nods. When I tell you I busted out laughing because this bitch Jessie is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, yo. Talking about I'm gonna give him the old head nod. So you dragged me all the way out here to the fair with the intentions of beating somebody up, and you're not even gonna beat them up? She said, yeah. I said, girl, when we hop off this wild mouse, I'm gonna need you to take my phone and put that app on my phone immediately. Because if you were to ask me what I would do if I saw my ex with his new bitch right here, right now, it's definitely not gonna be a head nod, bitch.